Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ruben. This is Rattlecan Rebuilds. And last week we worked on my EGA 25 motor, put it back together with the block I got from the junkyard for $200. And we're going to put it back into my old Subaru Legacy Outback that I got at auction for $400. And we have a good little $600 combination here. So hopefully I did everything right on the engine. I guess we'll find out in this video once we put it back in. So without further ado, let's get to work and jump right in. All right, so the first thing we need to do is pull the engine hoist over here to the engine and get it all hooked up, because I still have to put the flywheel and the main bearing, the main crank seal on the engine, and then we can start dropping it back in. So let's get this thing hooked up. Let's roll this thing back this way. I have this chain right here, but it's got a lot of unnecessary things on it, and I found it in the parking lot at work. I think it belonged to like a snowplow truck. It's super rusty because it was sitting outside. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to cut this open here and take this part of the chain out, and then cut a slit in this ring here, and I'll give me this nice piece of chain. I actually found two great points of contact, one on the transmission and one on the front cylinder head here. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up. Make sure that this isn't going to break anything when it's under tension, and it looks like it'll be fine. So now we have somewhere to hoist our motor from. Looking at this further, I actually think there are some areas where the engine could possibly get damaged, or some parts could get damaged. I'm thinking that this sensor right here on the throttle body, and maybe this coil pack. So I'm just going to remove the throttle body and this coil pack, kind of just eliminate any potential hazards there. And we have liftoff. All right, so now with the engine up in the air, we can go ahead and take this bracket off for the engine stand, and we can get to our main seal here for the crank, replace that, and then we can put our flywheel on. Well, I just went to run a bolt into the flange here for the transmission, and it looks like the threads in there are damaged. So we're definitely going to have to address that before this goes back in the car, but that's a good thing, and we have all the space now. Now there's a couple different ways you can go about getting a seal like this out of an engine or a cylinder head or anything like that. You don't want to damage any of the surfaces that the seal comes into contact with, So they do sell like seal pullers and stuff like that. I'm just going to go the old school way. It's a little bit kind of, you know, dangerous because you can accidentally damage these surfaces. I'm just going to be really careful, and we're going to use the uh, self tapping screws. Just going to screw it into one side and pull it on out. So let's go ahead and drive our screw in. And we want to be really, really careful. Ooh, we came really close there. I hope I did not damage the seal contact point here on the crank, because that would be really bad. Well, that didn't work very well. Let's see if we caused any damage here. No, it looks like I just got most of the seal. So we'll try on a different spot. I finally got it out. I tried to use a slide hammer, and fortunately the opening on my slide hammer wasn't big or small enough to grab that screw head. I tried the channel locks, didn't work. Finally went and grabbed a plastic trim removal tool and just put it underneath here, used the edge of the block, gave it a couple taps, and what did you have it? It popped right out. And here is our old main seal. Now I'm going to go grab the new one. I got one from Victor Rains. Those are very good gaskets, and so we are going to eliminate the possibility of having any leaks in the future. Here is our new seal, and before we install it, like any seal, we want to lube it up. And I'm always going to put on my handy dandy trusty Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease. And I got this tip from a very, very successful YouTuber, Alex from Legit Street Cars. He uses this stuff on everything, so I figured if it's good enough for him, I'm gonna do the same thing. So seal's nice and lubed up. Now I'm gonna use my old seal to drive it in. Got it started in. You want to make sure you get the lip of the seal underneath and around the crank so you don't damage it. Use plenty of grease. It doesn't matter if you use a lot, the more the better, so that it can slide over smoothly without getting damaged. And now I will just put this flat face down, and I'll use a hammer and lightly tap around the edge. And some light but firm taps, and you should be good. Okay, a little bit more. Now you definitely want to take your time with this. Do not rush it. Patience is the key. The last thing you want is to put everything back together and have a rear main seal leak. It is the worst. And it is sticking out just a tiny bit down here at the bottom. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Good morning. It is the next day, and we're ready to put the flywheel back on the engine so we can continue putting the motor back in the car. Let's go get our flywheel. You just want to tighten these with the supplied Allen key. Don't use anything different other than the kit, the tool that came in the kit. You will over tighten these and strip them out. So just tighten them to as much as you can with this, and that's all you need. Before we can put the flywheel back on the engine, we need to remove this bearing here in the center. That is the pilot bushing or bearing, whatever you want to call it. And it's usually pretty easy to take out. I think we could drive it out with a punch. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm just going to use this socket, set it right here, and drive it on out. There it is. All done. And it's not sitting all the way in. You just want it to sit flush with that front edge. One, go over to 7, and 4, and then 6, 2, 8, all right, we're all torqued up. Now it's time for the clutch. You want the protruding part of the clutch disc to be facing this way. So you put your friction disc there, and then we'll grab our pressure plate, and there's a pin right here on the flywheel that'll line up with the pressure plate. I've already got one started on that side. We got our clutch alignment tool in place so that everything stays in line. All right, and then these are going to get torqued down to 11.8 foot-pounds. Now, before we install the engine back in, we're going to put the clutch fork and the pilot bushing in. This kit came with 2 of them. It came with one with a repair sleeve. These Subarus are known for wearing thin right here over time, and so the normal pilot bushing doesn't fit anymore. Well, it doesn't fit snug. So it comes with this collar, 2 Allen key bolts. You slide the collar over, put the bolts on, and then the new pilot bushing sits on there nice and snug. Okay, now our little bushing can go in, and we want that flat piece to sit at the bottom. All right, and now we need to install the little Allen key bolts. Grab the other one, and then we will drive them in with the supplied Allen key wrench. All right, our pilot bushing and our clutch fork are now installed, and man, it feels really solid. This is not. We can now finally put the engine back in the car. You're going in there. Oh yeah, you are. Man, this AC compressor and these lines make it really hard to squeeze this thing in here. Oh, oh, oh. Headlight connector in the way. Okay, coming down. Hung up on the AC line again. I just got to get this throttle body out of the way. I cannot see a darn thing back here. But I've got the bottom bolts in. Now the transmission just needs to slide in the rest of the way. It is finally in. Oh my God, that was a struggle to get that thing in there. I'm not going to remove the chain yet because I still got to get the mounts underneath. Sorry, I'm out of breath. The mounts underneath that go to the subframe that hold the engine in place. And I'm just running a couple bolts over the top. Then I'm going to start buttoning everything up. And I'm not going to record any of that because I'm just too excited and I don't want to continue to stop and set up the camera. So I will see you guys when we are ready to fire this thing up. Everything is pretty much connected and ready for it to turn over. I went over here and I couldn't find the fuel pump relay. It's buried under the dash somewhere. But according to some forums, if I pull SBF number 2, which is this fuse here, the fuel pump will not kick on. So I'm gonna put some power to this. This battery is kind of low. I'm gonna have to boil it tonight. But I wanna crank this real quick for you guys and for me. I haven't cranked it yet. Let's see how this thing sounds really quick. Let me go get my my jump pack. Black to black. And plug this in. What? Woo! Oh my God, did you guys hear that? It sounds so good. I'm so excited. All right, I gotta go have dinner with my girlfriend and my daughter. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna come back, button everything up, and we're taking this thing for a drive. Oh my God, it sounds so good. I'm so excited. That's some good coffee. So on these Subaru engines, it's very difficult to get spark plugs and wires down in there because obviously the top of the cylinder head's right here at the side. So I find it easier to use a wobble extension with another wobble extension with an extended wobble extension. I know that sounds quite ridiculous, but trust me, it works. Okay, everything is now hooked up. We got fuel lines. We got lightning going to the cylinders. Now we just need lightning going to the fuel pump. Let's hit the go stick. Well, it definitely runs. That was super loud. We don't have any exhaust on the car, so that's going to be my next task, and getting the cooling system installed. So let's go. It's done. I do need to go to the parts store and figure something out with the intake, because when I was disassembling, I broke that off. So I'm not going to be able to use that, and it is metered air. So I'm going to have a check engine that's not going to run good because of that. Other than that, I literally just need to put coolant in this thing, the grill, and then we're going to take this car for a drive. I did have to... This thing runs so good. Oh my God, I've never heard this thing run this good before. It's always had an engine knock, always had major issues. I mean, this is just... I mean, to most, this is just a regular old beat-up car. But to me, this means so much more than that. This was the first car that started my YouTube channel. This is the whole reason why I started a YouTube channel. And it just means a lot to me. This car is really special, and I'm so glad I could bring you guys along for the journey. All right, well, as you can see, the car is now facing in the opposite direction in the shop. So I did drive it, but I didn't record it because it was really bad. The suspension needs a lot of work, and the brakes are pretty much non-existent. So we have a ton more stuff to do before we can actually take this thing for a good drive. And I still got to get it nice and clean. So in the next video, we will definitely do all that. I'm going to jump on the interwebs and just start ordering a bunch of stuff. This thing needs all brakes all around. It needs suspension. It needs a ton more stuff before I can really take it on the road and make it my daily driver like I want it to be. We're also going to tackle the interior. It's got dog hair and stuff all over the place. I want to get a new radio for it because right now it's just FM, AM radio. And yeah, there's just a lot more stuff to do. So if you guys enjoyed the Subaru content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it if you guys would do that for me. It helps me out more than you know. We got more content on the Mercedes coming out here soon, and I'm actually going to be hitting the auction this week. So we're going to be bringing another car to the channel. I am excited, and I hope you guys are, and I hope you stick around to see what we got coming up. And I will see all of you in the next video. Peace. Oh man, we got an oil leak. Oh, please don't tell me it's from the oil pan. Or worse, the rear main seal. Oh no. No, Subaru, you're supposed to be done.